Hey y'all, it's me, Cinnamon. Now, I made a poll on my community tab on whether to do a video about how I name my horses or to do a video on how I train my horses. Train and name. Yeah, those sound very similar. Well, you all voted for me to name my horses. Well, not like name, but to go through how I name my horses. So, today I am going to give you some of the ways I name them. First up, we have my chaotic method. Now, some of the horses I've named with this is 1, Bloody Moon, 2, Dawn Dish Soap. Yes, these are very chaotic. And 3, Sadie. Sadie seems like a normal name, but it's actually a stallion. I gave a female name. It was originally not supposed to be chaotic, but I found out it was a stallion a couple days later. And I am bored, so I just kept with it, so it's chaotic now. So how I come up with chaotic names is basically when I get a horse and I like them and I want to give them a name, but I don't really have the patience to try to figure out a good one. I do the first thing that comes to mind. So, for example, when I got my Blood Moon Thoroughbred, first thing that came to mind is Bloody Moon. I'm like, yes, it's bloody and it has a moon on it. So I named it Bloody Moon. Next thing is Dawn Dish Soap. Basically, when I was trading, I was thinking about dishes, and I'm like, you know what? Dawn Dish Soap. We're keeping it. It's good. And that's why it was Dawn Dish Soap. And the next one that's chaotic, Sadie. Well, you already heard. I meant to give it a normal name, but turns out it was Stallion. I'm like, you know what? We're sticking with Sadie. You are now Sadie. So those are some of the chaotic ones. So essentially, you just go with the randomest stuff. You get a horse, don't know what you're going to name it. You don't have the will to figure out like a good name. Just do the first thing that comes off the mind. Like, let's go to this wild horse over here. Bucky. It's a Bucky. Now, here's my thought process, and it's a little bit off. Basically, it's a snow-capped Appaloosa. I was thinking about snow. I was thinking about Marvel. I was thinking about Bucky because Bucky fell into the snow when they're going against Hydra in Germany. So basically, I named it Bucky. See? Most randomest stuff doesn't have to make sense. You just go with it. So, my next thing, it's not really chaotic naming. It's sort of like situational. It's based off of how you got the horse, something the horse does, something that just, like, happens in the moment. You're like, hey, like, that could be a good name for the horse. Example, Lucky. I am actually riding a Lucky right now. So, a Lucky was for event tokens in, like, the little, like, horse shopping area. So, you about get, like, around 12 minutes to get the horse before the shop refreshes. I did not have enough spring tokens. You cannot buy or sell spring tokens, so I had to work for them. I was working all through those 12 minutes to hopefully be able to afford Lucky. I was able to get enough in time, bought Lucky, and a couple seconds later, the shop refreshed. I was so close to not getting Lucky that I decided I was very lucky to be able to get Lucky. So that's where the name Lucky comes from. Another situational one is during the summer event, I caught a clownfish Mustang. And I decided to name it Merlin because I was watching Finding Nemo. I like Disney movies, so I watch them sometimes. So I was watching Finding Nemo, and I'm like, you know what? You're going to be named Merlin. Situational. So, example, this hasn't happened, but maybe say you're riding a horse and you keep falling off of it and you keep running into trees or walls with this horse, but you don't do with other horses. You can name that horse Clumsy. Just something based off the situation. And third way I name horses, it's kind of like the normal way you name horses. It's just like you find a name that suits them. Maybe it could be like a dog name, like Mochi or Chocolate Chips. Like, you know, like dog names are normally food for some reason. So you could do it like that. Or you can give it like a human name, like Fitzgerald or Bing Crosby, like after famous actors. Or, well, actually, Fitzgerald is actually an author. So basically, you just do it after, like, celebrities, maybe. Those are kind of, like, the normal names. I don't really do the normal ways. I do sometimes, but I don't really stick to those. I do have one though. Well, it's sort of, it's sort of with the whole chaotic one. I have a horse named Bugs Bunny, and I was looking at it, and I'm like, wow, like, you look derpy. And, like, it looked like a bunny, and it just looked really funny. And it reminded me of a bunny that looked also funny, which is Bugs Bunny. Which, that is the next type of way of naming I want to talk about, is based off of how the horse looks. For example, I have a black 𝕬𝕝 Friesian. I named it Milk because it reminded me of cows. Very basic, I know, but I just looked at how the horse looked, and I'm like, you know what? That works. Another example is a complete white Friesian with a Palomino mane and tail. I'm like, you know what? You remind me of Angel. I'm going to name you Angel because that's how it looks. Like, it could be based off how, like, the horse looks. For example, this is a monarch perch. If I were to rename Lucky, or if I were to name another one, I could say Majesty. Or some, like, royal regal name. Because, well, it's a monarch. And monarchs are also known as royalty. So I could give, like, a royal name. Like, maybe Elizabeth. After Queen Elizabeth. Rest in peace. She was amazing. I miss her. So maybe, like, you could do something like that. So you could, like, do, like, whatever comes to mind. Like, or, like, maybe, like, that, like, I guess, if you guys are making sense of this. I'm getting caught up in my words because I'm thinking multiple sentences at once. I can't choose one. That happens a lot. So, essentially, those are 4 of the ways that I name horses. At the end of this video, I am going to have some name inspos. So, some of them are just going to be chaotic names. Some of them are going to be normal names. Some of them are, like, celebrity or famous people names that could go good for, like, a horse. And, yeah, I'll leave that at the end of the video. I have a voiceover reading the names and how I came up with them. Now, there's some I can't do for you guys, which is, like, situational or, like, how the horse looks, because I can't see how your horse looks. And I don't know the situation with your horse, so I cannot do those. But I can do the normal names, the famous people names, and the random things that just come to mind names. So I will transition to the color page with all the names and what they are. So I'll see you all there. Here are normal names and pet-like names. Here are some slurry name examples. And here are just some chaotic names. Thank you all for watching. Bye!